My unit, salute, Smackdown 6/20/25, your official amplified review. This was one of those shows, the tale of good and bad. The good is there was enough star power to make this show watchable. From John Cena to Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, LA Knight, and others. You spread them out, it could make for a watchable show. I felt this was for the most part. The bad, obviously the booking. The booking for these shows, not just last night, but it's been this way for months, years, especially under Hunter Hearst Helmsley. The booking sucks. It makes zero sense. We got nothing but face versus face situations last night and even matchups. Heel versus heel situations and possibly matchups. We'll go over it. That's all you got. You got all your faces out there in one segment all together. Randy, Cody, Sami. Who else was out there? Jason Uso. They're all in just a segment together. Why? Because the King of the Ring semis are just face versus face matchups. Both your semis. Face versus face. And even if you go to the Queen of the Ring, your semi is also face versus face with Asuka and Alexa, I believe. Correct? The booking sucks. It doesn't benefit the wrestlers. So that's what's hard to get through. For 3 straight hours, you have to watch really shitty booking. Like, I'm pretty sure a toddler with a crayon and a coloring book could book better than this. I'm pretty sure you might not be creative at all. That might not be your strong suit. That's fine. But I'm pretty sure you could book better than this because there's no thought behind any of it. That's the bad. It's pretty bad when you're producing a 3-hour show. Now, a little bit of good news sprinkled on top is that we believe we're going back to 2 hours next month. We'll see. That's the word going around the campfire. But I don't want to speak too much on that until we get more confirmation. But I believe USA has another show that they want to put in that time slot from 10 o'clock p.m. on Eastern Time. If that's the case, then SmackDown would absolutely be reduced to 2 hours. That's the hope. Because 3 hours, 2 hours ain't going to be that much better, but we'll take anything at this point. 3 hours, Helmsley is completely lost, and he's told us that many times. I mean, when the dude tells you himself that he can't do 3 hours, you got to eventually believe him. What he's going to realize is he can't even do 2. Now, what was the best part of the night is John Cena, clearly. I can't even believe that he spit that promo out nearly 10 minutes, correct, in length. And he didn't stumble. He didn't fumble. I mean, he could have spit another 10, 20 minutes flawlessly. There's nobody that can do that anymore in pro wrestling. There's nobody. There's nobody on that roster that can spit like John Cena. He's the best of the best on this microphone, but not in that ring. We'll take an old school CM Punk. He's the best on the microphone, man. The only one that can come close to him is over in AEW, MJF, Maxwell Jacob Freeman. He's the only one that can come close. It's a shame we'll never see those two link up and go into a promo battle, because that would have been really cool. CM Punk is good. It's a different philosophy and a different way that Punk goes. He's still good. He was way better before he left. Way better on the microphone. He's still good, though. Top 3, I would say, correct? I think Punk would round out the 3. But John Cena can just switch it up to every style, and he'll roast you. He can make you look, you could be a top dog, and he will make you look like a complete and total jobber in that ring. He did it to Roman Reigns. The machine was behind Roman Reigns. He flubbed his lines, forgot him, and John Cena roasted him. John Cena said, "It's called a promo, kid. If you're going to be the big dog, you're going to have to learn how to cut him." It took a long time. I don't think Roman ever recovered from that. He had to turn heel, link up with Paul Heyman, switch everything up. Theme music, attire, everything. And then it started to click because that was that final nail. John Cena has done that so many times to individuals. He'll roast you if you can't hang with him. Sometimes when he's in a good mood, he'll cut you some slack. He'll let you find your way, or he'll come down to your level. But John Cena, as the years went on, he stopped that. He's like, you're going to be at my level, or at least the vicinity, or I'm going to knock you down another peg or two, and you're going to have to even work harder just to get to where you were. That's what he did with people like Roman and such in promos. Promos alone, nothing to do with wrestling. That's what John Cena does. He can roast you like that. Obviously, the comedy promo, John Cena has perfected that over the years, more than a decade. He can do the serious promos. He can rap for 5 to 10 minutes and engage his audience and be entertaining. He can do all of it. And despite all of that, I was never a big John Cena fan or supporter. Never minded him. It's just when I saw pro wrestling take a huge downward spiral from the Austin and Undertaker days and all of that, and John Cena's the new face, it felt like a peg down. So I never became a big supporter. But as his career winds down, I absolutely don't take him for granted anymore. And I see the value that he brings because I now see that nobody can hang with that dude on the microphone. And that's a big part of pro wrestling, guys. You can put on all the 5-star matchups you want. You can do the Hurricanranas, the 450 inadverted plancha dive moonsaults. Doesn't matter. Nobody's going to remember all that. You can watch 5 hours of amazing wrestling at the local bingo hall. You probably only remember the characters that felt larger than life or the storyline or situation that made you feel something. You can yell leash every single night. You can yell, "This is awesome," for every single match. You're not going to go back and watch any of them ever again. But what you will remember is promos like that you saw last night. And if you didn't even catch the show, you don't even know what we're talking about. Well, Jonathan Cena put CM Punk through it after his R-Truth matchup. We'll go over all of it in this review. But then Punk comes out to try to help out R-Truth post-match. And CM Punk gets put through the Slim Jim table. In case you were wondering who's sponsoring all this, the goofiest part of this, because it was so well done by John Cena. The goofiest part, aside from CM Punk being Frozen Part 3, is there already a 3? I don't know, I haven't seen Frozen 4. He was frozen. For the entire 10 minutes, CM Punk was put through the Slim Jim table through the attitude adjustment, and he just did not move. He was frozen in time. That was goofy, yes. But the fact that he was through that table with a huge Slim Jim logo, it was right up there with that PLE recently in the past few months, that with the big giant yellow letters, Morgan and Morgan. I forgot what event that was. And it's a good thing, right? I think we want to forget that. Morgan and Morgan taking up the whole ring, this law firm. Slim Jim, you're trying to be in this good moment, right? CM Punk is put through the table and he's trying to act like he's just frozen. He's dead. He's done. See, and John Cena's up on the turnbuckle cutting this promo, and it's the same promo, twisted up, obviously, that CM Punk did back in, 2011, 14 years ago? It was the infamous pipe bomb, and John Cena was cutting that same promo, just in his own way, switching up some words. And this giant Slim Jim logo is on the table that CM, and it's there right on camera. It's giant. And it's worth mentioning as well that only John Cena can really pull off that promo, that pipe bomb from 2011, make it his own variation, not flub it, hit it flawlessly. Only Cena can hit that. But that Slim Jim logo got all the camera time. CM Punk laid motionless as Cena cut that for nearly 10 minutes, and it's Slim Jim that everybody's looking at because it's an eyesore. That's the whole point of product placement. To be an eyesore. So you can't tell me, it's not a big deal. No, it is for a lot of people. It's an eyesore. That's the whole point of product placement. So you're just seeing Slim Jim. And of course, the The advertiser's thrilled, and TKO is thrilled. Wow, look at that airtime. Now we can take it to other advertisers and say, see, you pay us this, you're going to get that during the finale of our show. So they take it, and it's Slim Jim last night. And next it'll be the Tide detergent table. And then it's going to be the Cocoa Puffs table. You think it ends with that? No. They'll take that to the next advertisers and so on. It's an eyesore. And they're just pimping the product out. Think about any show that you watch. Is that acceptable to you? If you're watching The Walking Dead and it's the finale and it's the last 10 minutes, the last 5 minutes, and you got Rick and Michonne and they're taking out all the zombies, but they just stop. Rick and Michonne, they stop and all these zombies are coming at them. And they stop and they put everything down and they whip out Capri Suns. Having a rough day? Capri Sun always makes our day. They clash it, they cheers, and they start drinking, right? They try to put the little straws in there, and they start drinking their Capri Sun juice boxes. That's odd. That took you out of the whole Walking Dead, man, and all the zombies that are coming out. But whoa, hold up. Sopranos, Tony Soprano and his La Familia, they get out of the car. They're about to take this dude out, but a lawyer jumps in front of the guy. Are you about to have a rough day? Morgan & Morgan, we'll get you the settlement you deserve. Hand the business card to the guy and let Tony and the boys do what they gotta do. That would stop you. Whoa, that just took you out of the show. The hell is Morgan & Morgan advertisement in the actual show itself? No, as much as we can laugh at it, that's what you're saying, man. You have this moment between Cena and Punk, and Slim Jim is on the table. Not just in words, the entire giant logo. This product placement is out of control. But I don't want that to be the downer on what was so good, which is John Cena in that promo, that pipe bomb. He took the pipe bomb from 2011 and he nailed it out of the park. He even looked at the camera at one point and did the whole, hey, Colt Cabana, hey, Claudio Castagnoli, hey, Nick Nemeth, hey, who's Zack Ryder? What's dude's name? Zack Ryder, man. Matt Cardona, I think, right? He said Matt Cardona as well. He just started blasting out just a bunch of random names to do his version of Colt Cabana to seem edgy, right? Cena's edgy because he's poking fun at CM Punk. You being all edgy, breaking down the fourth wall. I mean, he took every part of that promo. I was waiting for him to throw a line at Helmsley, the doofus son-in-law line. There was so much you could have grabbed there. There was so much material you could have worked with. They didn't want to, at least I don't recall. Maybe he did. I mean, this was like 8 to 10 minutes. This was a very lengthy. He cut it 2.5 short. The entire time he was asking the referee how much time he had. A lot of you guys probably didn't even notice that. But when the ref is telling him go into the black box and talking to Helmsley in the back and then translate, but you can actually audibly, a lot of you guys know this. With Cena, he doesn't hide what he's asking the ref or calling his spots in the ring. He doesn't hide that. He yells it. He shouts it. You can hear Cena audibly say, elbow, drop kick. You'll hear it. You'll hear him yell to the ref, how much time? Go back to the R-Truth matchup at the beginning when he first just getting the introduction. He audibly just asked the ref, how much time do I have? Didn't even bother blocking it. And you could hear the ref go about 20 minutes. If you looked at the clock at that time, you had 20 minutes in the show. That's what Cena does. But so he asked about the time. She says about 3 minutes at that time. He says something else, and then he says, USA, you can keep the other 2.5 minutes. I did what I needed to do in less time. I mean, that's just an ultimate mic drop. It's saying that I do this and this entertaining better than this entire roster, this entire company. And the sad thing is, it's true. All of these promo classes in NXT, what are they doing, man? For years, they have had promo classes. For what? You're not getting authenticity. You're not getting the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're not getting the next John Cena on that microphone. MJF didn't go to a promo class from AEW. These promo classes are just another way to make everybody feel, look, and vibe the same. It's like an Amazon distribution center, and everybody's coming off the assembly line in the same type of box, same shape, same sizing, same coloring, ship out. Every wrestler feels, looks, it's all the same. Sounds. John Cena's the last of it, man. The last of it. And to cut these promos like that, it's sad to say that, but after this year's gone, who's stepping up to the microphone like that? Punk's days, there's more days career-wise behind than in front. Randy Orton's very limited in part-time. And he doesn't rock like Cena anyway. It would only be CM Punk. It's a shame. Bray Wyatt was in a different way so good on the mic and telling stories full out on the microphone. But Bray Wyatt obviously as well. So it's John Cena, man. And at least for last night, that was wild. It didn't take long to realize what he was doing. And it was like, oh, sit back, Max, relax. John Cena gonna drop the facts, bro. And he cut that. And the whole time, not just Slim Jim was goofy, but Punk just didn't move. I wish they stopped maybe halfway, gave him another attitude adjustment, off the broken table. Something, I don't know, hit him with the belt. For 8 to 10 minutes, CM Punk just laid motionless. I'm like, dude, I've seen people kick out of 4 table spots. But again, I don't want to let that damper down, man. John Cena owned the night, owned the week. I don't think any show, any segment from any show is going to top that finale segment from SmackDown. And again, there was enough star power to make this show watchable in totality. Just the booking of it sucks still. In the show, unacceptable is the word that I've used so often in the past to describe WWE's booking, and it's a word that I'm most likely going to use so often going forward. Unacceptable. But there's no time to waste. Let's jump into it so you can see for yourself. SmackDown 6/20/25, the amplified review. Swig of coffee. Let's do this. Salud, unit. So we started this show LA Knight. He's done, he says, going back and forth with Rollins' crew. He calls out Rollins himself, but instead he gets Paul Heyman. So it was a good back and forth. It's LA Knight, it's Paul Heyman on the stick. I mean, just let him rock out for a few minutes, right? That's what they did. A good 5 minutes, I would say. Back and forth. And LA Knight says, if you're not going to bring me Rollins, then it's going to be LA Knight versus Paul Heyman. And it's funny, what'd he say? He told Heyman he's going to give Heyman a mollywhopping. Now, I don't know what that is, but I'm thinking, oh, no, you don't want the mollywhopping. He going to get a mollywhopping. So he turns his back to let Paul Heyman get the first shot, and Heyman just sneaks out of the ring. Like, nah. But you will deal with these two. And here comes Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed to the ring. Knight evens the odds with a steel chair as we go to commercial with the arena chanting LA Knight, LA Knight. What's it going to take for this company to realize this dude is a star? You're dancing around with all these other areas and situations and trying to make Damian Priest this big thing and trying to take the yeeting and translate that into Jey Uso is a superstar. Because all the kids like to dance and yeet. And LA Knight is right there, man. And he was over before any Jason Uso or before you even tried to do anything with Damian Priest, which unfortunately I like Damian, but that failed. And LA Knight this whole time is still over. Helmsley said, we weren't sure if he was a flash in the pan, so we didn't want to go with him. No, you didn't want to go with him because he's not a Paul Levesque McMahon guy. That's the truth. He's not a Paul Levesque McMahon guy, and so he got shafted time after time. And here we are years later, and he's still getting shafted. What's it going to take for this company to understand this? He gets this with shitty booking. Could you imagine if they gave LA Knight just a semblance, just a piece of the booking that they gave Damian last year, or what they just gave Jason Uso? Just a piece of that booking. Because even without it all, LA Knight still gets that reception. LA Knight is still that over. LA Knight many weeks goes in, sneaks into the top 3 in merchandise still. Not just 5. That's with John Cena and Cody Rhodes and still Roman Reigns taking those 3 spots. Jey Uso is in and out as of the last couple of months. Could you imagine, man? What's it going to take for this company to understand? He dangles them out there in segments like this. The first segment of a show is a big segment, right? And he gives them the mic and he lets them bounce around with Paul Heyman. By the end of the night, he was just getting destroyed by Bronson and Breakker. But he dangles little things, right? He'll put him in the King of the Ring ladder match. He'll put him in a pay-per-view match every now and again. Nothing ever comes out of it. What's it going to take for this company to understand LA Knight is the guy or can be one of the guys? Put him in there, man. What do you want to do? Just regurgitate Sami Zayn again? Samuel Zayn? You're going to try to push him like he's this top face of the company? The dude feels like a mid-carder. I know. That's hard to hear for a lot. I like Sami too. When Sami comes down the aisle, there's no emotion, there's no feeling. I just want to get this segment over with. Because I'm going to hear a lot of blah, blah, blah on the microphone. He's not going to be involved in anything I care about. You'll pluck Damian from the mid-card out of nowhere because he's one of your guys. You'll promote him to the King of the Ring contract. You'll promote him to a world title victory and a title reign. Jason Uso, the tag team guy, because of the yeeting, he'll get a Rumble victory and a world title victory at WrestleMania. What does LA Knight get? Nothing. For years. All right, I had to go on a little side rant there, man. It's just... You hear and you see this reaction still to this day. I'm sure by now with this type of booking, Helmsley was hoping that would have just went away. LA Knight is legit. That's a side rant. Anyway, that's the opening segment. I didn't mind this. Again, the mic work between Heyman and LA Knight were really good. The heels come out. The face is able to fend them off. I didn't mind this. First matchup of the night. This was the cream of the ring. Well, it is Asuka and Alexa. I don't know, man. Oh, that went off the rails real quick. The queen of the ring semi. This was Alexa and Asuka. 2 beloved fan favorites. 2 beloved fan favorites in the ring together for some freaking tournament. 1 word. What is it? 9 letters? 7 letters? Asinine. I don't know. Do your Steiner math. Asinine. Feel like we're at a spelling bee. Asinine. A-S-I. What was that? Home Alone 2, remember? We're the Sticky Bandits. That's S-T. The cop has to tell him. I. Oh, boy. Podcast is going off the rails, man. There goes the review. All right, Queen of the Ring, Alexa, Asuka, 2 beloved fan favorites, completely asinine. It's like later in the night, getting Samuel Zayn, because that's what you got later in the show. We'll talk about it. Samuel Zayn versus Randy Orton in the King of the Ring semi. Just like over on Raw, face versus face, Cody versus Jason Uso in the King of the Ring semi. All of these matches are just faces versus faces. See a problem with that? Where are the heels? There are none. So you get Asuka and Alexa, and you watch this match. Every Alexa false finish has the crowd behind her. Then you switch it up to an Asuka false finish, and the crowd switches up in support of Asuka. It's like going to the Super Bowl. Packers versus 49ers. You're a fan, right? It's the Packers 49ers Super Bowl. You have a 49ers hat and a Packers jersey. What are you doing? That's how goofy they sound and they look, and that's how goofy you would look at the Super Bowl with a 49er hat and a Packer jersey. Pick a team, man. That's what makes it fun. You have somebody in the game you're going for, right? When you show up to NASCAR, you're decked out in all of the advertisements of your driver. Right? If you're Kyle Busch, you got all your M&Ms on. If you're Dale Earnhardt Jr., I know this was years ago, but you had all your Budweiser gear. But you wouldn't show up with Everybody's, right? You wouldn't have Napa hat with an M&M jacket, with Budweiser shoes, Tide detergent backpack. Like, who are you going for? You're going for anybody? Whoever wins. That's who I was going for. I truly think this company, Helmsley, when I say this company, Helmsley, and even Nick Khan, I think they truly don't mind making their audience look like complete clowns and idiots. It's like they want to see how goofy they can make them. Hey, have Seth go out as a heel, but have them all sing his song and then boo him after. Have them cheer for Alexa, but then 10 seconds later, cheer for Asuka. And then 10 seconds later, cheer for Alexa. Yeah, have them do that. Because that's what, and these people showing up, these fans, a lot of kids dragging out their parents or whatever, they just want to participate. So they'll do it. They'll play along with whatever slop that Helmsley is trying to dish out. And they'll come back and ask for seconds. They just want to they paid so much money. They want to sing. They want to chant. They want to go, this is awesome every match. They just want to participate. And these clowns back in Gorilla feed off of that. Let's see how goofy we can make them. Because that's the only answer or conclusion you can come to. Why else would you have all of these face versus face matchups that do not benefit your talent at all? It splits your audience, so it doesn't benefit the fans. It leads to nothing, so the company doesn't benefit. But this is the match we got. And when it was all said and done, Asuka pins Bliss clean. The ass attack, I believe, correct? Hits her with her ass. I can see if that's Jada Parker. There's a lot packing there. Asuka's got a nice one, but enough to knock out Alexa? I don't know. But Asuka just loses clean looking up at the lights. This is what I mean. How does this help Alexa? It doesn't even help Asuka a lot. She collects a W. Okay, AJ Styles' winning percentage is usually over 80%. It's been that way for years. So why doesn't AJ Styles feel relevant? Because he's never in anything relevant. His W's were just W's. They don't lead to anything. Asuka just collects a W. But BC, she goes on into the tournament. Nobody cares about this stupid tournament. This is to make the Night of Champions Saudi deal seem or feel important. These tournaments never are important. Nobody cares about Shane McMahon winning the Best in the World tournament or who won last year's King of the Ring or 2 or 3 years ago. I don't even remember. Asuka's just getting a W. But even more so, Alexa looking up at the lights. She just came back. She gets one of the best reactions of all the females in all of wrestling. And that's her booking. Go out there, not just lose, but lose to a face clean. So it's not even for a storyline. It's for nothing. You're not going to believe the story they have for Alexa. If you've been following this channel, you should not be shocked. They're teasing the Charlie-Alexa tag team. They've been. Everybody else is missing it. I caught it from day one, and last night it was more than evident. We'll go over that. But that's her only booking, storyline-wise. Other than that, they don't see much for Alexa. Just try to make Charlie Flair relevant. Give her some rub so fans will cheer her. That type of relevancy. They did this with Asuka. When Asuka was champion, I say this all the time, and they tagged her up with Charlie so that Charlie can get some of that rub because fans love Asuka. So maybe if we put Charlie with Asuka, they'll love her. That's what they're going to use Alexa so that Charlie can get the rub. But this doesn't help at all, Alexa. Looking up at the lights simplistically, this match shouldn't have even happened. This Helmsley booking is pathetic garbage. If anyone was this bad at their job, they would be fired. And you know that's accurate. If you show up to your job and you're this bad at it, you would eventually be fired. Helmsley is beyond horrible at this job. But they probably think, who else is there? Ari doesn't want to get his hands dirty. Nick Khan doesn't want to get his hands dirty. They're too busy making the deals to get Slim Jim on the tables. They need to know what advertisement's going on the turnbuckles next. So who's going to run the day-to-day creative and the talent relations and all of that. Who's going to be the chief of content, man? It's got to be somebody that was close to Vince. Oh, doofus son-in-law. So no, they're not going to fire him. Obviously, they probably don't know who would replace. So meanwhile, we have who's in charge with the creative pen is just one of the boys. One of the pettiest individuals on the planet is in charge of the entire company's creative and talent and content. That's not good. The boys should not be running the show. Hulk Hogan should have never been running a show. Kevin Nash should have never been running the WCW show. Hunter Helmsley should not be running WWE, and you know it. It's a shame when you see people with such a reaction and such a genuine care that people have, like an LA Knight or Alexa Bliss, and you see the booking and you know it is not even a half or a quarter of what they should be getting or what you could be doing to expand on that momentum. Helmsley just sees a pot of water boiling, ready for some cooking, and he puts a lid on it, shuts the oven off completely. Pour some water on it, some cold water. Wow. I used to say perhaps you'll never understand it, but you do. He's just not good at the job. Sometimes you try something out and you're not good at it, right? It happens, man. You're just not good at it. He tried this creative thing. Guess what? You ain't good at it. Aleister Black on his way to the ring to face Kit Wilson. Is that his name, or is it Kip? Kip? I don't even know. From the tag team Pretty Dudley. Another face versus face match. Aleister Black versus a member of Pretty Dudley, the tag team. Face versus face. Where's the heels? They don't have any. Who are you going to parade out there even if you did? Carmelo Hayes? The Miz? And it wouldn't matter anyway. R-Truth, Ron Killings hits the ring, takes out Wilson. Ron Truth calls out John Cena, but Jamie Noble. You guys remember Jamie Noble? I'm Jamie Noble. I got a trailer park and this is my girlfriend Nydia. Remember Nydia? I'm taking you back on that, man. But Jamie Noble, who's really close to R-Truth behind the scenes. So I thought that was actually a nice touch for those that do know. And he calmed Truth down and he brought him to the back. So Cena didn't come out in that instance. And then backstage, Aleister Black was pissed off at Truth for interrupting his match before it even began. And Damian Priest pops up and Damian's like, Aleister, let me take care of this. And Aleister's like, yeah, okay. And he walks away, and then Damian's talking some sense into Truth. Face. What is this progressing? That's what I mean, man, right? Everybody is starving for good storylines. And you have this face versus face match with Pretty Dudley and Aleister. And the person that prevents that match from even happening with interference is another face, R-Truth. And then backstage, you have another face, Aleister Truth promo. And another face, Damian Priest, pops up to split them up. There's no heels at this entire 16-minute double segment. No heels. That's a problem. What story are you progressing? Is this leading to Aleister versus Truth? All of this momentum that Truth has garnered over the last 3 weeks, and you're booking him with another face to split your audience, that is telling you they're sabotaging R-Truth. And when Cena was cutting that awesome pipe bomb at the end of the show, by the way, on Punk, he kind of disappeared, Truth, didn't he? Got hit with the title, I believe. I don't even know what exact. I think it was a title to the dome piece. He was gone for that last 12 minutes. Yep. Shows you, Helmsley, it's what I said about LA Knight, right? He'll dangle them out there so it looks like he's putting a little bit of effort, but he won't actually give them anything proper. R-Truth, man. Where can any of this go? Try to turn him heel and turn on his buddy Damian Priest? Or the only other way is they're setting a face-face with Aleister. You're going to tag R-Truth up with Damian? There's so much you could have done with R-Truth's story and momentum. His real story. That's why all this momentum occurred, man. You don't see anything like that in today's pro wrestling, that type of organic movement. And they're making R-Truth just feel average already. There's so much you should have been doing with this dude. He's out there with just a bunch of faces. 16 minutes over the course of it leads to nothing. Wild. Absolutely wild. Then we finally get into hour number 2, and this was Cody Rhodes starting this. And by the end of this segment... So Cody Rhodes is out. Jason Yeaterman, a.k.a. Jey Uso, he's out next. Through the crowd, we spend 5 minutes yeeting like an R-E-tard, picking up random kids in the crowd and dancing, and I don't even know. Hands down, without question, unequivocally, this is the most annoying, nauseating entrance in pro wrestling today. That is, without a shadow of a doubt, the most annoying, nauseating entrance in pro wrestling. And the fact that it takes so long, and when the music finally ends and the crowd wants to participate more, one more time, and then we gotta watch Jey Uso look at the camera and go, out of breath, mind you. And then the music's gotta hit. Here we go, another 2 minutes. Ready, guys? Get your dancing shoes on. Oh, and the best part is when Wade Barrett is screaming, we can do this another 3 hours. And Tessa Torre responds screaming, we can yeet into the night, Wade. We can yeet into the night. Reminds you of when McAfee asked Michael Cole if he's got his yeeting suit on. And Michael Cole said, I got my yeeting suit on, Pat. This couldn't enter another level of corny. This could not enter another level of nauseating toddler shit. You're watching a pro wrestling show, or are you at a Chuck E. Cheese party? They put all the kids around them in the entrance, and they all, yeah, it's so good for the kids. It gives them the glasses, maybe. And to see it every show, every week, because it's not even just Raw now. Lately, it's just been SmackDown as well. That's what just becomes, the redundancy is just too much at that point. You know, Roman Reigns and his little 5-minute entrance, okay. You know what I mean? At least it's badass. There's not all this silly, goofy shit. You know, you're watching something pretty cool, as if like The Undertaker's coming down for 8 minutes. You know, you're just kind of like pretty cool. If you're over the age of fucking 12, I don't know what's cool about this at all. And then the dude is winded when the music finally stops. They won't even let the dude cut more than a couple of lines. And it's for the best. But he's out there with Cody Rhodes. Then they just discussed their face versus face King of the Ring semi on Raw, right? You get the theme, right? Face versus face, nonstop. That's all they have. Where are the heels? So they discuss their face versus face. Then here comes Sami Zayn. This is all Sami Zayn does. His whole booking for years now is just come out, interrupt people, and get into their business. That's all he does. He just gets into everybody. Seth, you shouldn't be turning bad. You should be a good friend and a good person and don't turn into a heel. Right? Jay, you got this. Jay, you're better than that. You're going to win this. I'm going to be there for... He's always just in everything, and it just makes him feel like nothing. So he's out there, and he's just talking about how he loves both of them, blah, blah, blah. Here comes Randy Orton. Orton starts talking about how he respects all of them, but he won't hesitate to give them all an RKO, blah, blah, blah. 4 faces. 4 faces, no heels, and no reasoning for any of this. King of the Ring with a bunch of faces. Cody, Jay, Randy, Sami Zayn. And there was no point to this. I'm not even joking. We went to a random commercial because there was no finality to this. They were just yapping about how they love one another, they respect one another, but at the end of the day, someone has to be a king. And then when we came back from commercial, it was Sami Zayn versus Orton, their semi. And this was simplistic. Orton just pins Zayn via RKO. So I'm sure the storyline here is every week, Karrion Kross will be telling Sami Zayn backstage, you lost the King of the Ring and your opportunity. You're never going to be champion. And then at the Royal Rumble 2026, Sami Zayn will probably win the Royal Rumble knowing Hunter Hearst Helmsley's stupid ass booking. Sami Zayn will win the 2026 Rumble. And I know some of you are like, that'd be cool though, BC. I like Sami. Or he deserves it, right? So it's Jey Uso all over again. Just because we like him, just because he deserves it, we should give him a Royal Rumble victory, a main event at Mania, or at least bare minimum a World Championship victory at Mania. What? He doesn't feel... What are you talking about? I would give that to LA Knight or CM Punk way before I give that to a Samuel Zayn. Just because he's been there forever and he deserves it or he's earned it. What are you talking about? Then that's every wrestler. How about you just book the dude correctly first? Don't just chuck him into a Rumble victory world title win. Sami Zayn needs to feel important again, not like a 9-to-5 jobber. The dude looks like he had just showed up from his day job, which is Lowe's, stocking the wood on the shelves. He punches out and he tries to make his night job at Raw or SmackDown. Book him correctly. Stop having him in everybody's business and have him conduct his own biz. Unreal, man. And then we went into... So that was that. Randy Orton is going to advance. He'll take on the winner of Jason Uso versus Cody Rhodes, also face versus face, and that'll lead to, obviously, a face versus face finale. Again, I ask, where are the heels? There's none. Then we had a weird segment with Nia Jax taking out Tiffany Stratton. Naomi comes out for a cash-in. Jax takes out Naomi because Jax doesn't want Naomi cashing in. This is the same regurgitated storyline when Tiffany was with Jax. And every time Tiffany wanted to cash in, Nia would block her. They're doing the same thing. Naomi always wants to cash in when Nia's out there for some reason, and that is easy pickings for Nia to say no. Why would Nia care? Just take the title from whoever has it. So Nia takes out Naomi. And then Stratton gets up after Jax had already taken her out, and Stratton just takes them both out. And that's the segment. Is that the best booking for them? You have Tiffany Stratton, your champion. You have Naomi, the Money in the Bank briefcase contract holder. And that's the best booking they have. They have to insert Nia Jax because they don't have anything. Naomi is, or should be anyway, booked as a diabolical heel right now in that company. Tiffany, your Barbie hero, your champion, your face. It's sitting in your lap. We should be getting an epic story leading into SummerSlam with Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. You're getting this garbage with Nia Jax involved every week. So instead of getting something really cool like Tiffany and Naomi, you'll probably get a triple threat with Nia. Yeah, that's this company. That's what they do. What I say, unacceptable booking. That's the word I use for this type of book. Unacceptable. And that's what made this show watchable because of the stars that were there. But the booking, when you watch this for 3 hours, the whole three, like, I'm not even, there's no embellishing this. There's no over exaggerating. The entire 3 hours, if you're somebody that uses logic and common sense and truly wants to believe and invest in what I'm watching, if you're like that, you watch the whole 3 hours, you're just befuddled at how stupid all of this is. Then you have Charlie Flair out there versus Chelsea Green. In a Papa John's match, by the way. That's not a stipulation, but it's heavily advertised. Not as bad as Slim Jim later in the night in the final segment, which we'll get to, but Papa John's was everywhere. And they had to mention it 26 times in this match. Papa John's is bringing you Charlie and Chelsea. Thank you, Papa John's. And heel versus heel, too, mind you, correct? I mean, Charlie Flair, for all intents and purposes, was a heel because she came back as a face. The crowd rejected it. She does what she always does, instantly just goes against the crowd instead of trying to save the promo. She instantly turns heel, and then they kind of have to book her as such for the next several weeks, and then they try to merge her back into the face lane. You know what I mean? They try to ease her way back so nobody's asking any questions. It looks like they did that last night because that's more of a heel versus heel matchup. Charlie versus Chelsea Green. But Charlie playing the face, I guess. She's more like she's a tweener now. She doesn't care what anybody is saying about her. She doesn't even look at the crowd. I guess that's their new avenue. Just go out there, be badass, don't care what anybody thinks, and they'll love you, I guess. But Charlotte ends up tapping out Chelsea Green via the figure 8 leg lock. Is that the best way to book Chelsea Green? Of course not, but you got to get a W for Chelsea or for Charlie somehow. So just feed her Chelsea. Charlie picks up the W. Post-match, Secret Hervis attacks Charles Flair. Alexa Bliss out for the save. Alexa continuing to get on the good side of Charlie or make Charlie see her as a confidant, a friend. They could do great things together in that industry. Maybe win, tag team titles. Because I told you from day one, that's what this company is flirting with. They're flirting with an Alexa Charlie tag team. And a lot of you guys are like, man, BC, you called that from day one. How did you know? Because now it's evident. Yes, it wasn't that hard. Remember when several weeks, maybe even months ago, when Charles was leaving the arena and she goes to get into like the limo and Alexa stopped her. You could tell right there was no beef there. Alexa's like, coming to her as an old confidant. Or just, they've just been there for so long and they've had so much mileage together. And they're like, dude, Alexa, it was almost like she was trying to talk some sense into her. Like where Charles is right now and Alexa just coming back. What if? But Charles doesn't want anything to do with it. And you saw that again last night. Alexa makes the save. Alexa looks at Charles like, dude, we can do some cool stuff together. And Charles just walks right by her. There's no animosity. There's no beef. Right? There's no story between them that would have them interacting. This is clear that eventually Charles is going to be like, all right, maybe we could do some really good stuff together. Or Charles is next going to help Alexa. Alexa will need the help. And Charlotte Flair will come down for the save. But eventually, that's what you're going to get. So if you're saying, oh, BC, how did you call that from day one? I just used logic and common sense. I didn't have to tap into any Bill Nye or any Einstein. This is just elementary, my dear Watson. This is bare minimum of just, it's right in front of you. Alexa and Charles Flair, because they want Alexa to give that face rub to Charlie. Alexa gets all that fan adulation and fans love, and that reaction. Fans love Alexa. They want that so desperately for over 10 years for Charlie Flair. They just don't get it. We've tried this with Asuka when they tied Charles to Asuka. It didn't work then. They're going to try it again with Alexa, clearly. But that's what they're toying around with. That's what they're flirting with. They're judging the reaction that everybody into this. Don't be shocked if you see an Alexa Charlotte tag team. Because you just saw it last night. Alexa comes out and helps out Charles and is like, dude. And Charles is like, damn you. Don't want to hear it. It walks off. And Alexa's like, all right. Hour 3, good back and forth promo with Solo, Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Mateo attacks Jimmy Uso for the save. Segment ends. But the good part in all of this was really that promo between Solo and Jacoby. Jacoby saying, you know what I think? See, I haven't changed. You've changed. But I think what the problem is this U.S. title. So if that is the problem and he lays it down, he says, then fight me for it. I thought that was so good from Jacoby. And Solo was finding his groove. Dare I say, with all the brothers, Jimmy and Jay and Solo is the best promo. If this was even 2 months ago, I would have never thought I'd say that. But Solo is turning into a really good promo. His confidence, his self-esteem. He's no longer flubbing or blubbing his lines. He's rocking out. It's believable. Solo has found his groove, and he's rocking it. That's really good to see. And when the performers do stuff like that, they can take subpar booking, and they can make it more special. LA Knight Bronson Reed was next. LA Knight Bronson Reed. Breaker interferes and spears Knight. That was the finish. Breaker literally jumps in the ring right in front of the ref, spears LA Knight. DQ, right? Wade Barrett screams almost instantly. Wade Barrett screams, "The match is obviously thrown out now, and it's a shame." The match is obviously thrown out. This is verbiage that is perfectly placed. They've been saying this for weeks and even months. Every time there's a DQ, listen to the commentators. "The match is thrown out. Oh, this match no longer stands." They'll say things like that. Tessa Torre, Michael Cole, done met Wade Barrett. That's Helmsley's new thing. His new thing is do not say anything as a DQ. That's how we're going to try to make everybody feel 50-50 booked. They didn't lose. Somebody else jumped into the ring and hit the other guy. That's so Wade Barrett, that's not thrown out. No, Wade. That is called a DQ. It's a disqualification. Say it with us, Wade. Ready? On the count of 3. We'll say disqualification. 1, 2, 3. Disqualification. Want to simplify it? On the count of 3, let's say DQ. 1, 2, 3. DQ. It's a DQ, Wade. Helmsley is a moron. He's a moron. That's what he's instead of giving us good creative, he's sitting around the board table. He's like, what can I do to really make pro wrestling even worse? You know what I'll do? I'll take away the DQs. No more disqualification. So if some dude's tag team partner jumps in and beats up the other guy, it's not a DQ. The match is just thrown out. Match is thrown out. They made it a point. Wade made it a point to say that immediately. We've been hearing that nonstop with the disqualifications. It's a way to make the audience know that Bronson didn't lose. No, he didn't. It's an easy way out. This is what I mean when I say Helmsley does not want to spend an ounce of energy, one iota of care into his product. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to set aside the time. He wants to do podcasts and commercials and voiceovers and you name it. Hang out at Pacer games and with celebrities. He doesn't want to do this. And it's never more evident. What's the easiest way out, right? If you don't want to put any care or energy into your booking, let's just say there is no DQs. That way, no matter what we do, there's no winner and loser. That makes his job a lot easier as a creator, doesn't it? Bullshit. And then the main event, Jonathan Cena, R-Truth. So you have John Cena, R-Truth. Truth wins via DQ, we believe. Who knows? Who knows what they even said? I doubt they said that. But he does win via DQ. I think it was a title to the dome piece. In all honesty, guys, I had some side business I had to attend real quick while doing the notes. And Truth was already down and out when CM Punk's music was hitting. So that's full transparency. So Truth is done for the night. That was the last you would have saw of him. CM Punk's music hits. Punk comes out. Punk gets hit with the title to the dome piece. And then he subsequently put Attitude Adjustment through the Slim Jim table that was in the ring. So he's put through a table. Just one Attitude Adjustment. That was it. And CM Punk was out for the next 10 minutes motionless. Frozen in time. John Cena gets a microphone, gets up onto the turnbuckle, and he cuts the pipe bomb from 2011, but his variation. He switched it all up for 2025 and his view. And he even had the breaking of the fourth wall. Instead of Colt Cabana, he says, "What's up, Claudio Castagnoli?" Of course, that was Cesaro. "What's up, Nick Nemeth?" Of course, that was Dolph Ziggler. "What's up, Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder?" So what's interesting too is some of these names, they've had issues, or at least was reported with Cena backstage. So I wonder if that was, obviously that was perfectly placed. But just the entire thing, and he's like, "I'm the best on this mic and in that ring," and all of it. I was waiting for the line on Doofus Son-in-Law. There's so much material there. But I don't believe he did, unless I just missed it. But the entire several minutes, over 5, nearly 10-minute promo, he was just taking from the original pipeline. It was just brilliant. And he didn't flub it. He didn't get lost at all during it. I mean, it was so smooth. And that's John Cena. That's the promo. It's the ultimate mic drop. It's the ultimate mic drop that you could have done. He's the best on the microphone in the game. Second would only be, I believe, from All Elite Wrestling, Maxwell, Jacob Freeman, MJF, and then CM Punk, I guess, would round out the three. But nobody can touch John Cena, and that's a problem because Cena's done this year. Who's next up? The best of days for CM Punk, there's more days behind him in his career than in front, clearly. MJF, I don't know. That's a different company anyway. Who can carry that type of anything on their back? A story, a promo, a monologue? Who can engage you for nearly 10 minutes like that? It's hard. And John Cena just did it so matter of fact, just an ultimate mic drop and bringing back to life that pipeline. And at the very end, he's like, USA, I did that all with 2.5 extra minutes. You can keep it. And then he came back in the ring and he grabbed the mic again and he told CM Punk, he said, thanks for letting me jack your pipe bomb to make you even look more foolish. And threw the mic onto Punk. It was so good, man. So good. I really urge you guys. I never tell you guys, go check something out or so, you know what I mean? Usually these shows are so bad and you guys thank BC for saving you 2 or 3 hours. But I would say if you do have time, even 5-10 minutes, try to catch that promo. I think you really enjoy that, man. It was good. And even if you're not a big John Cena fan, I totally get it. But you'll appreciate him, I believe, a lot more when you think about that type of promo and you think, who can cut that these days? There is nobody, sadly. But that's how we ended the show. Slim Jim was the star of the finale. The Slim Jim was that logo as CM Punk is through the table and the top of the table is standing upright. Slim Jim massive logo is on the entire promo, the entire pipe bomb. It's an eyesore. And for anybody that goes, you just got to look past it, BC, it's not a big deal. It is, because as I said in the cold open, that's the whole point of product placement, to be an eyesore. You shouldn't have an eyesore with such a climactic cliffhanging moment. You shouldn't. You can't. Even when Piper was going through that table a couple weeks ago, how goofy did that look and sound? To see Piper go through a big logo that's a Slim Jim and to hear Tessa Torre scream, Wade, she went through the Slim Jim table. Wade's like, yeah, Piper really got some wood. That's it. That's what I got. John Cena, the ultimate respect there, man. An ultimate pipe bomb. Mic drop. CM Punk on the Slim Jim table, passed out, frozen for 10 minutes. Word has it that he's still frozen in that location, like they were trying to take the ring down and take down everything, deconstruct the setup, but Punk was still frozen when they were trying to take him. That's the latest word we got. So hopefully he's been unfrozen. But that's what I got, man. SmackDown 6/20/25. So just how I started this review, I'll say the same thing. It was watchable because they had enough stars to spread out, right? John Cena, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, LA Knight. If you like to yeet, you had Jason Uso out there. You had enough to kind of spread out and keep the audience kind of on their toes and do enough. But no substance, nothing of value. When you look at the actual booking for 3 hours, it was just random after random after random. And face versus face, heel versus heel, whatever. The booking. Man, if you just had somebody who's good at this job, talent relations, chief of content, chief of creative, because that's what he's all of that. If you had somebody that was competent doing this, imagine the product we could be getting. Until next time, and there will be that next time. BC in the unit, we're saying check you, SmackDown 6/20/25. Thank you guys for joining, man. Unit, salute, go kick ass on your weekends.